Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at an artwork that, well, it really seems to have struck a chord with a lot of people. It's called The Dying Robots Dance.
It's a fascinating piece, mechanical, obviously, but it goes way beyond that, doesn't it? It really taps into the human
It really
experience.
does. So for this deep dive, we're drawing on an analysis by James Parr, who wrote about this artwork.
Oh,
Our plan is, first, just to describe the thing itself. What the robot is, what it actually does.
the literal mechanics.
Exactly. And then we'll get into the deeper stuff, the interpretations, what it all might mean.
Yeah.
We're going to give you the key takeaways from Parr's piece, sort of a shortcut to understanding why it's so powerful.
Okay, so the core of it, the artwork itself, is this industrial robot arm. A specific type, actually, a QKA arm, and it's programmed with this constant task.
What do you know?
It's leaking hydraulic fluid. And its main job, its programming, is to try and scoop that leaking fluid back into itself constantly.
Wow. Okay, so it's basically trying to stop itself from bleeding out in mechanical terms.
Precisely. And this hydraulic fluid, it's crucial. It needs it to operate. If it loses too much, it just stops. It dies, essentially.
So you're watching this machine in this endless kind of frantic loop trying to save itself.
Yeah, a desperate cycle. And Parr points out the choice of hydraulic fluid is key. It underlines that dependency. It's like it's lifeblood.
Right. But it wasn't always just this desperate struggle, was it? I read it could do other things.
That's right. When the project first started, it actually had these routines called happy dances programmed in,
Yeah.
For the audience.
Dances, okay.
Yeah, and back then, the leaks were smaller, manageable. So it spent quite a bit of time doing these dances, interacting. It actually had time for something other than survival.
But that changed over time. What did Parr say happened?
Well, he described a pretty stark shift. Years into the project, the robot looked, and his words were tired and hopeless.
Hopeless. A robot.
Metaphorically, of course. But the leaks got worse, much harder to manage. It reached a point where it just didn't have any time for the dances anymore.
So its entire existence just became about plugging the leaks.
Exactly, just trying to keep itself functioning. And there's a really powerful detail Parr highlights. The hydraulic fluid was deliberately colored to look like blood.
Oh, wow. Okay, that adds a whole other layer, that visual.
Makes it incredibly visceral, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the ending was predetermined. It was always going to fail.
So it was programmed to die.
Yes. In 2019, it finally happened. It ran out of the fluid, slowed down, and just stopped permanently.
Like watching something slowly bleed out.
That's the feeling. Parr really emphasizes the sense of inevitability. No matter what the robot did, how hard it tried, its fate was sealed from the start. There was no escape built into its program. People just watched it happen.
A really unsettling concept.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's the physical reality of it. This machine, struggling, leaking, ultimately failing. But the real impact, as you said, comes when we unpack what it all represents. Parr's analysis dives into these interpretations, right? Using the robot as a mirror.
Exactly. That's where it gets really profound. One of the main interpretations Parr discusses is that the artwork is a commentary on, well, the system. A system that might be set up deliberately to make us fail.
Set up by who?
The idea, as Parr presents it, is that it's a system potentially designed by, the powerful, the richest people, and it essentially consumes our best years while we're busy playing by its rules.
Right. And following from that, another idea Parr explores is how this kind of system can strip away our own happiness, our passions, that inner peace.
Yeah, think back to the robot losing its happy dances.
Right. It's a direct parallel. The joy gets squeezed out by the struggle just to keep going. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much of our own dance gets lost along the way.
And Parr suggests this isn't just individual, it's maybe a wider pattern. Like we're all slowly getting buried under more and more responsibility, higher expectations.
But getting less back. Less reward, less actual free time to enjoy anything.
That's the interpretation.
Yeah.
It feels like running harder just to stay in the same place, or maybe even slipping backwards.
Which leads to pretty dark thought also in Parr's analysis, this idea that maybe there isn't an escape. Like the robot, maybe we're kind of locked into a path from the start.
A sense of predetermination. That no matter how much you fight it, the track is already laid out. It's a heavy interpretation for sure.
It is. And then there's another one, maybe the most poignant, about value, our value.
Ah, yes. The idea that you can pour everything you have into something, give and give. But once you stop being useful, once you can't give anymore.
You're forgotten. Or worse, become a burden.
That's the uncomfortable suggestion the artwork raises, according to Parr. We're valued, loved, respected while we're productive, valuable to the system, perhaps. But when that stops, what then?
That's tough. It really hits home, I think. This whole thing, from the robot literally struggling to these interpretations, it forces you to look at your own life, doesn't it? Do you ever feel like that robot? Overwhelmed, maybe undervalued, just trying to keep it all together?
It definitely holds up a mirror. It forces you to examine your own relationship with these kinds of pressures, these systems.
So, the dying robot's dance. It's clearly much more than just gears and fluid. It's this complex reflection of, well, us, our struggles with fate, with systems, losing joy, and this really difficult question about our worth.
It leaves you with a lot to think about.
Absolutely. And maybe this is the final thought to leave everyone with, drawing from Parr's points. If the art suggests we're often valued mainly when we're useful and risk becoming a burden otherwise,
Yeah.
how do you find your own sense of worth?
Right, how do you define that purpose outside of what the system seems to demand? Especially when you feel that constant pull, that drain, like the robot's bleeding.
It's a challenging question, definitely something to ponder.